Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. A requested video. How are my Dendrobium cuthbertsonii doing? Well, they haven't dumped their leaves, which is their favourite party trick. This may go out of focus because these are true miniatures. This is it. These are the size of the leaves. They're not going to get any bigger. So very, very miniature plants that form a mat. Yeah, they don't climb. They go outwards. One of these has got a name. It's Pepe, or variation Pepe, but they've got no tags. I've only got two, so I can't lose track of which one's which. All I've got to do is go back to the original video when these came back from Malvern and I potted them up, and in that video I know which one's which, so I haven't lost track of them as such. These are difficult to work out what are new growths and what aren't. But that's a new growth on this. Now this one didn't have very good roots. I'll back up a bit or I know it's going to go out of focus. This one didn't have very good roots, but that's a new growth there. And round the other side there's another new growth coming up there. Difficult to see, but yeah, so that one's growing. I mean, I don't know how quick these are supposed to grow. Oh, there's another new growth there too. This one is growing. So the worst one with the least roots is growing. The bigger one with quite a decent set of roots, when I potted this, trade it, whatever you want to call it, I basically got some small bark and broken up sphagnum moss and made a layer in the bottom of these trays which have lots of holes in, and then spread the roots out over the top of that and then put the live moss on top. And so far the live moss has stayed live, you know, which, given that the actual plants get a bit of feed now and again, and moss notoriously doesn't like fertiliser, it's difficult to say. I'm pretty sure this is a new growth, quite sure. Maybe that's the only one. Difficult to tell, but this one did at least have a reasonable root system on it. So I mean, it should grow on. If the weak one can grow, then this one ought to as well. The reason I got these is they're strange looking plants. You know, these leaves are really knobbly, you know, really rough, and the deepest purple underneath. So they're an unusual plant. They've got an unusual growth habit, as dendrobiums go, and true miniature, so it's never going to take up loads of space. I mean, if it fills this tray, it can have a bigger one. So no big deal there. Cool growers, and they're accommodated by going up there in the line of fire of that cooling fan. So I've got them cool, they get enough light there. These are not highlight orchids. And, well, they appear to be surviving and possibly starting to move on. These have a party trick, Dendrobium cuthbertsonii. Get these wrong and upset them, and they dump their leaves. In no uncertain terms. You know, you come in the morning and all the leaves are on your potting media or on the floor, and all you've got is stumps. And I know people that have grown them that have actually seen that happen. That doesn't mean they've died, it means they've done some sort of survival mechanism. By dumping the leaves, they don't have to support them. And then, if times get better, they might push up some new growths. So if ever you get one that does that, don't give up hope. It may well shoot out. But I would seriously suggest, if you do get one that dumps its leaves, that you hold back on the water, or it's just going to rot, because it's got nowhere for that water to go. So you've really got to wait until you get some new growths. These are absolutely soaking at the moment because I've just watered them. And basically what I do is I leave them to soak for a while to make sure the bark and the sphagnum at the bottom of the tray is wet, and then I just tip them over and get the excess water out. So I don't want them sat in water, basically. Now, although these trays have got holes in the bottom, they do seem to hold on to some water. So I always just drain them off like that. And those are they. And the other beauty of these tiny little plants is that the blooms are huge. Blooms are probably, they're like trumpet shaped. and they're probably 2 to 3 centimetres long and 1.5 centimetres wide at the top of the trumpet. Infinitely variable colours, right through from quite pale through the pinks into the oranges and the reds, but really large blooms for the size of the plant. But I like the plants, they're unusual. So that's those two. They were got at Malvern, reluctantly from Ecuagenera. Their plants really did not look too good this year at Malvern. But these didn't look too bad, and my daughter desperately wanted to buy me something that I wanted for Father's Day. And we looked round, I know it sounds daft, we looked round the whole show and I didn't really see anything I wanted, and then out of the corner of my eye I saw a few of these. And we picked on the best two. One of them was actually in flower when we picked it up, but by the time we got it home the flower had dropped. So I came home with these two as my Father's Day present. And well, as I said, they haven't dumped their leaves, there's signs of new growths, and the moss hasn't died, so we're not doing bad with them, not doing bad.